Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavai Tejasvinavadhetamastu Mavidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Puranana Alayam Karunalayam Namami Sarvatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharya Keshavam Bhagavayanam Sutra Bhashya Prabhavande Bhagavantau Punah. See, I am leaving to Jaipur on day after tomorrow. So that is on Monday. So you are all well. Ashravidya Mandir has organized 3 days talks, and you are all welcome. You are all invited to come. You can all come. There is no problem. It's only for 3 days. 3 days. You can come. 27th, 28th, 29th. And therefore you can all come if you are interested. If you are not interested, you don't have to come. But then you will be giving me the online classes. We don't know whether we will be giving or they're not, but you can come or you don't have to come. Thank you. So the page number 8, the last line we have to see. The last line we have to see. स्यादेतत् प्राचीनाः खलु केवलम् आत्मैक्यसिद्धौ सन्नद्धाः. In the ancient times, the rishis were always ready to know the Atma's oneness with Brahma. They were always sannadhaha. Atma aikya siddhau sannidhaha. Sannidhaha means they were always ready. Because they did not fulfill the desires, they were not interested in fulfilling the desires. Because whatever you fulfill, whatever desire you fulfill, you want to fulfill again. You want to fulfill again, and that means the fulfillment is never there. After every fulfillment, you want to fulfill it again, and therefore, even after 1,000 times fulfillment, you want to fulfill it again, and therefore there is no fulfillment. I told you in the beginning that this whole world cannot fulfill even one desire of yours. If the fulfillment of a desire means, according to my definition, the fulfillment is that after which there is no need to fulfill it again. That is called fulfillment. If that is the definition of fulfillment, then there is no fulfillment. From this whole world also, you cannot fulfill even one desire. Because Krishnana jirna vayameva jirna, the desires never age. Kamayesha, Krodesha, Rajoguna Samudbhava. Bhagavan Krishna says, this is the desire. Mahashano Mahapapma. Vidjainamiha Vairinam. Vidjainamiha Vairinam. Vidjainamiha Vairinam means, please understand the desire to be your enemy. Because it grows. The more you fulfill, the more it wants, the more acute it becomes. And therefore, it cannot be, they were always ready to know the Atma's oneness with the Brahman, because they were always, they were not interested in fulfilling a desire. They were more interested in self-control. And therefore, they lived with self-control. And therefore, when you control the desire, there is a relief. Even though the final answer is the falsification of the desire, because desire is also entertained by the jiva. It is entertained by the jiva. It is swabhavikam. It is entertained by it is entertained, and therefore it is there. It is something that is that can be falsified. It is in the form of the thought. The desire, the thought of desire, can be falsified, can be falsified, and therefore the false can only be falsified. The false cannot be understood. The false can be understood as false. The false cannot be understood as real. The false cannot be understood as real. The false can only be understood as false. And therefore the dream can only be understood as false. That when you wake up from the dream, it is understood automatically that is, the dream is false. But the waking, for the understanding the waking to be false, you have to make a little do vichara, and therefore it looks difficult. But then doing vichara is not easy. Doing vichara is difficult, and therefore people think it is very difficult to understand the truth. But then uh, the waking state, to understand the falsity of the waking state, it takes time. But to understand the falsity of the dream state, it doesn't take time. As you wake up, you understand. The bluff is called. And therefore, our Guruji used to say, it is a dream is a clever man's, is a fool's bluff, and the waking is a clever man's bluff. It takes some time to understand that it is a bluff, because the dream state and the waking state have the same the objects. They're all it's common. The the sightedness is common, drishatvam is common, and externality is common, solidity is common, and pravritti nivritti are common, and therefore everything is common. There is no difference between the dream and the waking state, and therefore the only difference is that there is a memory that I have been living in the same waking state before also, but in the dream state changes every day. The waking doesn't change every day. That is the only difference. But that difference is also that is a part of the waking state. That it is different from the dream state is also from the waking state. It is a part of the waking state. It is not outside. You are not as a sakshi. You are not witnessing the difference. You are only the difference is only a part of the waking state. And when I say the part of the waking state, that is the answer. Please understand. It's a part of the waking state. Just as the awareness is a part of the deep sleep state, a part of the Atma. Just as this to be awareness, to be aware, is a part of the, is indeed the Swarupa of the waking state, of the Atma. In the same manner, it is a part of the waking state. That is awake. To be awake means to see the difference between the waking state and the dream state, and therefore all these things have to be thought of. All these things have to be understood, and therefore, so here we have to say that the ancient rishis were always ready to understand the Atma as Atma as one with Brahman, always ready to understand, and therefore they were not they lived with self control. And therefore here it is said tadupayatvena, the mental readiness, the readiness to understand the truth is the upaya. The readiness to know the truth is the upaya. That readiness to know the truth is the effect of karma yoga, is the result of karma yoga. All these things have been said. They have lived a karma yoga, they have lived karma yoga, they are living karma yoga, they were living karma yoga, and therefore they were always ready to understand the oneness of Atma is Brahma. And therefore, Tadupayatvena, Vyavaharika Siddha Vishaya Avalambanena, Vyavaharika with Siddha. Vyavahara means Satyamiti Vyavahariyate. It is the sense of reality, the sense of reality about the world, the sense of reality about the embodiment, the sense of reality about oneself as an individual, as a jiva, the sense of reality about the dream in the dream, the sense of reality about the deep sleep in deep sleep, about the deep sleep state. All the three states are look as real, and therefore even the waking state looks real. And therefore, in the waking state, the waking state is from the waking point of view. The dream is from the waking point of view. The deep sleep state is also from the waking point of view. And therefore, in the waking state alone, you think of the waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. And therefore, you don't think of you don't you can't think of the deep sleep in the waking state and the dream state are from the deep sleep. From the deep sleep point of view, there is no such a thing. In the deep sleep state, there is only deep sleep state. There is only oneness. There is only Advitiyatvam of Atma. There is no waking state in the deep sleep state. There is no dream state in the deep sleep state. And therefore, Tadupayatvena Vyavahara Siddha Vishayavalambanena. Vyavahara Siddha Vyavahara means Satyamiti Vyavahriyate. Satyamiti Vyavahriyate is the sense of reality about the objects is what is called that is what is called Adhyaropa Upavada Nyaya. From the Vyavahara Vishaya, and what is the truth? It is called Atma. Atma is Ishvara. Ishvara is the Karanam. In relation to the Vyavahara Siddha, it is Ishvara. It is not. It is from Paramartha Drishti, it is only Advitiyam. Just as you are as the son of your mother, from the mother's point of view, you are the son. From your own point of view, you are one without a second. You are Advitiyam. In the same manner, here also Paramatma Virachiteshu Vivida Prakriya Vishesheshu. From the Vyavahara Drishti, whatever has been written by these rishis is not. They were not interested. They were not interested they were not interested in the Prakriya from the what is written in the from the Vyavahara Drishti, and therefore Vyavahara Drishti Tasmat Tesham Anadaraha Eva. Tesham means these ancient people, they were not interested in knowing the Anadara, means they were not interested in knowing the Atma from the Vyavahara Vishaya in relation to something, because that related something is happens to be false. Therefore, Anadaraha eva, and therefore, and Ataha Paraspara Vipratishedaha Nasti, and therefore there is no Vipratisheda, there is no contradiction between one Prakriya and another Prakriya in their minds. वाक्य वाक्य विपरीत नास्ति प्रक्रिया भेदानाम. Prakriya Bhedanam means in whatever Prakriya Bhedanam, between one Prakriya and another Prakriya, there is no difference. They don't have any contradiction. Why? Because they have another from what is the truth. When you define that, when you want to know the definition of the truth from the Vyavahara Drishti, from the point of view of the objects, it is the source of it, etc., etc. That they were not interested in from Vyavahara Drishti to know the definition of the truth, and therefore there was no contradiction. When you don't accept, when they are not interested in the Vyavahara Drishti, then you have no contradiction with anybody. Then if you are interested only in Paramartha Drishti, Paramarthatya, what is the truth? Paramarthatya, it is Advitiyam. That is what is to be understood. And therefore here it is said, Nasti Prakriya Vedana, Yadahu Ahu Chirantana. And also the ancient people said, Yaya Bhavet Pumsam Utpatti Pratyagatmani. With whatever Prakriya it creates, with whatever is created, the knowledge, with whatever Prakriya is created, the knowledge in the human mind, the same Prakriya, Sa eva, Sa eva Prakriya Iha Syat. That same Prakriya has to be accepted as the Prakriya. Is what is written in the that is the Prakriya that is written in the Upanishads also. Prakriya eva Iha Syat. Iha means in the Upanishads. Syat. Sadhvi. Sadhvi means the real good Prakriya. Sacha Anavastita. And that is manifold. The Prakriya that is all Prakriyas come under Adhyaropa Upavada Nyaya Prakriya. From Adhyaropa Drishti, what is the Satyam? And from Upavada Paramartha Drishti, what is the Satyam? And this has to be understood well. Anavastita. Anavastita means Nana Vida Ityartha. It is many kinds. These Prakriyas are many kinds. So the Prakriya that can create knowledge, that alone is a good Prakriya. Everybody is not the same. Different people are made differently. Therefore, some people, it is Srishti Prakriya, Srishti Sthiti Laya Prakriya works. For some people, Samanya Vishesha Prakriya, some people Adhyas Prakriya. In this manner, you may say different things, but all Prakriyas are good if they create knowledge. If it creates knowledge, it is Nana Vida. Different Prakriyas create different kinds of knowledge. And the knowledge, not different kinds of knowledge in different kinds of people. They create knowledge in different kinds of people. Different prakriyas create knowledge in different kinds of people. And jivas are many kinds, and therefore their subjectivity is many kinds, and therefore their tastes are many kinds, and therefore the prakriyas also many kinds. And therefore, it is said you have to accept whatever prakriya suits you, that prakriya alone has to be accepted. Yeya bhavet pumsam vyutpatti. Vyutpatti means the creation of the rise of knowledge. Pratyagatmanya abhut pratyagatma. Sahaja eva prakriya. That alone is prakriya. Yahasyad. Sadvi sa anavastita. So that alone has to be accepted as a good prakriya. Sacha anavastita. And that kind of prakriyas are many kinds. But all those prakriyas come under one prakriya called Adhyaropa Upavada Nyaya. Adhyaropa Upavada means Adhyaropa Drishtya. Adhyaropa Drishti means Vyavahara Drishti. Apavada is Swarupa Drishti. Swarupa Drishti means Paramartha Drishti. And Paramartha Drishti is always one. Apavadas are, the result of Apavada is Swarupa. The result of Adhyaropa is the material for all the creations is the same. All the prakriyas create whatever prakriya creates knowledge, that is considered to be a good prakriya, and that is vividha. That is something from the vivinna. That there are many kinds of prakriyas, and therefore nana vida ityartha. Tasmat swapnayamana idumuchyate. A dreamy person is told by him. A dreamy person tells you like this, that स्वप्नायमानेन इदमुच्यते. This is said. Vipratipattihi asti advaitamata anuyayinam iti. Even those who follow the Advaita Matam, there is a contradiction between one Acharya and another Acharya. In this manner, they say. Uh, Even though they say, but Vyavahara Visham in the Vyavahara means in the world, Nirbhara Abhavam Acharyanam Vibhinna Prasthana Darshina Ajanata iti. A person who has not understood Vibhinna Prasthanataya, Vibhinna Prasthanam Ajanata, Vibhinna Prasthananam Tattvam Ajanata means the one who doesn't understand many prasthanas, he says like this. A dreamy person says like this, that that a person who, even Advaita Acharyas have got have got contradiction among themselves, and therefore if Advaita Acharyas have got contradiction, you have to prove them, you have to prove it, and therefore Nirbhara Bhav Acharyana. Nirbhara, they are not interested in Vyavahara, they are interested only in Paramartha. If they are interested only in Swarupa, then you can't talk about, based upon the Vyavahara, you can't talk about Advaita. You can't talk about Advaita. Advaitam is not, some people say it is Ishvara, it is a Karanam, some people say it is Advaitam. In this manner, you say contradiction. In Advaitam, there cannot be any contradiction. In Advaita Acharya, Advaitam is Advaitam. Everybody, Paramartha Drishti, Paramartha is only Advaitam. How can there be any contradiction between Advaitam and Advaitam? One Advaita Acharya and another Advaita Acharya. In Swarupa Drishti, in Paramartha Drishti, there is only Advaitam. How can Advaitam be contradicted by Advaitam? In Vyavahara, there can be many prasthana, prakriyas. But in Paramartha, there is only one, and that is only Apavada. Adhyarapa Drishti, Vyavahara Drishti, There can be many, and therefore there cannot be any contradiction between Advaita and Advaita. तथापि खलु सर्वैरपि एवं वदन्ति, and therefore those people who say like this, that there is a contradiction between one Advaita Acharya and another Advaita Acharya, सर्वैरपि एवं वदन्ति व्यावहारिक विषयेषु अनाश्वासे कारणं दर्शनीयं भवति, and therefore all they have to show that why they are not interested in Vyavahara has to be shown. The Karanam Dakshinayam Bhavati. The reason for the disinterestedness in Vyavahara has to be shown. Why they are not interested, in Vyavahara has to be shown. तथापि खलु सर्वैरपि एवं वदद्भिः व्यावहारिकविषयेषु अनाश्वासे कारणं दुर्दर्शनीयं भवति, अन्यथा जिज्ञासा, otherwise जिज्ञासूनां, the students will not be able to understand जिज्ञासूनां परमार्थ व्यवहार विभागे बीजम अजानताम. They will not understand the difference between Vyavahar Drishti and Paramartha Drishti. Vyavahar Drishti is Mithya and Paramartha Drishti is Satyam. Between Satyam and Mithya, whatever is the relation, that is the Bija, that is the relation. Between Satyam and Mithya. And that has to be shown. The Jignasu, they don't understand. अन्यथा जिज्ञासूनां परमार्थ व्यवहार विषय बीजं जानतां कया प्रणालिकया, with what sequence, तासां सर्वासां, of all of them, तासां सर्वासां, all those प्रक्रियास एकवाक्यता, all those प्रक्रियास have got one वाक्यता, एकवाक्यता स्यात् प्रक्रियाणाम् इति संदेहे विरोधस्य स्फुटत्वात्. When Vyavahara is taken into account, then Virodha is sputam. Virodha is definitely clear. Virodha is, that is one Acharya shows in other Acharyas some of the doshas, and therefore that dosha, and that means contradiction between one Advaita Acharya and another Advaita Acharya. There is a contradiction, and that contradiction is being shown by the Nidralus. Nidralus means by a dreamy person. Doesn't understand that they were not interested in Vyavahara Drishti, they were only interested in Paramartha Drishti. And therefore, this Vyavahara Drishti, Paramartha Drishti, you have to understand what I mean. Virodhasya Sputatvat Acharyayascha Swaprakarana Itarasmin Dosha Udbhavanacha. Any Acharya first shows anything other than his own Prakriya, he shows some dosha. And that dosha, that maybe he shows that dosha maybe due to his personal likes and dislikes. He maybe does not like the other person, and therefore he shows in his Prakriya some dosha. उद्भवनाच सर्वत्र विपरीतं कस्मान् न तथा इति चिन्तया. And the Jignasus may think if one is wrong, all could be in the same manner wrong. Because everybody shows everybody other as wrong. If everybody shows everyone other than himself is wrong, then everybody could be wrong. तथा इति चिन्तया दुरन्तत्वात्. And this argument has no end. दुरन्तत्वात् दुःखेन अन्तत्वात् कस्मिन्नपि सिद्धान्त विविधा भेदे स्वन्तविधा भेदे. Then you are not convinced of any prakriya, because they are all contradicting themselves, and therefore सर्वत्र विपरीतं कस्मान्न तथा इति चिन्तया गुणतत्वात् कस्मिन्नपि सिद्धान्त विधा भेदे न स्यात् प्रत्ययः इति सुस्पष्टम्. He says suspashtam. Suspashtam means it's very clear. It's very clear that you are not convinced of any prakriya, and therefore you have to always that he is a nidralu. Vyavahara drishti is different from Paramartha drishti. Vyavahara Drishti is, in Vyavahara Drishti, you have got so many prakriyas. Even though they all come under the uh, Jara, Upavad, and Nyaya, but the Vyavahara Drishti makes it different. They were, the ancient people were not interested in the Vyavahara, they were only interested in the Paramartha Satya. What is Paramartha? And therefore, Prastananam Esham. They are not convinced of. And therefore, Yatha Uktam, and it is always said, Purve Samudre Ya Pantha, Nasagachate Paschimam. The path that leads to the east doesn't lead to the west. Therefore, what is the path that is there in the east, towards the east, it does not go to the far, to the west. And in the same manner, Eka Pantha, and therefore there is only one Pantha, Hi Mokshasya. Moksha ke liye there is only one Pantha, and that is Jnanam. And that Jnanam has only one path. And that path, for that path, Tanme Vistarasa Shunu, Moksha Dharma, it is given here in Mahabharata. Eka Pantha, Hi Mokshasya, Tanme Vistarata Shunu, it is Veda Vyasa says. अथवा पक्ष प्रतिपक्ष ग्रहणेन supposing paksha, one is Advaita Acharya is paksha and everybody else is Pratipaksha. If you take it that way, paksha Pratipaksha Grahanena, Vidamanahi, and everybody argues that I am the paksha, I am the Siddhanti. In this manner, everybody argues with others. And everybody argues with others, you are not convinced of anybody. Because they are all, if you say they're all, you are not convinced of anybody. If they are all really wrong, they argue with one another. Therefore, they are not convinced of any. You are not convinced of any of them. क्या है थे सिद्धाना सिद्धांता है सिद्धांति is not publicized. Siddhanta is not publicized. प्रत्याख्यायते प्रख्यायते सिद्धांतिनाम एव अभावः एव प्रख्यायते. There is no Siddhanta. Even though everybody thinks that he is a Siddhanti, but there is no Siddhanti. There is no, all of them are Purvapakshis. And therefore Siddhantinam eva abhavaha. Siddhantinam abhavaha eva Siddhantinam asiddhireva prakhyayate, prakhyapyate, prakhyapyate, asiddhireva. You can't establish any Siddhantam to be true. And therefore Siddhanta is not established. So only the Purvapakshi is established. Purvapaksha is popularizing. They are only popularizing Purvapakshas. They are not popularizing Siddhantam. इति प्रख्याप्यते इति चेत् यः कश्चित् तटस्थः संगिः. And therefore, if there is any तटस्थ person, any objective person, संगिः, a सत्संग सुनने वाला संगिः, is called संगिः. सत्संग का सत्संग सुनने वाला, some associate, some objective associate may be there, and therefore he may say that I'm not convinced of anyone, because they're all contradicting one another, and if they're all contradicting one another, then I am not convinced of anything. In this manner, he will say, and therefore only Siddhantam is power, not popularized. Siddhantam is not established. Only Purvapakshas are established. If somebody were to say like this, Tada kastasya nivaraka hasya, then who can be, who can answer this question? Who can answer that objective person's question? Who can answer? How can you negate that doubt of his nivaraka hasya? न च न विद्यते तादृशः उदासीन पक्षग्राहे. Now can we say that the Udasena Paksha Grahi, the one who takes such now, who is not an objective, who is an objective person. An objective person is not there, we can't say, because there are people who always say Christ is an objective person, Muhammad is an objective person. In this country itself, there are so many people who say Christ, Muhammad, Zoroaster, Jina, Buddha Prabhutina, Aptatvena. And they always say that they talk about Bhagavan, and they always say that they are very objective. In this manner, people think in this country itself. Pratik Abhiniveshamana. Abhiniveshamana means they are obsessed by them. There are many people who are obsessed by them. Obsessed means the Christians are obsessed with Christian Christ, and the Muslims were also obsessed with Muhammad, and Buddhists were also obsessed with Buddha, and Jainas are obsessed with Jina. In this manner, everybody is obsessed with their own prophet, and they proselytize also others. They convert also others. In this country itself, there are so many people. Upanyasinaha Parashutam Upalabhyante Asminnev Bharatavarshe. In this India itself, there are more than 100 people, more than 100 prophets who are really who want to be converted. People they can't they convert people also to their thinking. They convert people also to their thinking. In this manner they think. In this manner they say they're all objective. They say Buddha was objective, and Jinnah was objective, and Christ was objective, Muhammad was objective. In this manner, Zoroaster is objective. In this manner, they say, and therefore they try to convert people also to their own thinking. In this manner, they get obsessed with them, and they consider themselves to be objective. They consider themselves to be Apta Purushas. Apta Purushas means just as a snake is a person who understands the rope as a rope. He is called Apta Purusha. The person who understands the Atma as Atma is considered to be Apta Purusha. They all understand the truth. In this manner, they say Bharatvarsha. Asticha. And also, there are people who are Swatantra Yukti, means they independent of Vedanta. There are people, there are intellectuals in the West. They are like what? Chalakaha. So like Spencer, Huxley, Hume, Berkeley, Vargsna, Adi, Paschat Vipashchit Darshita. These people, they are all from the West. They're all philosophers, and they use logic. They use logic. They use logic. They are logical, independent logic, not through the Shastra. Independent logic, as shown by the independent logic by the philosophers, Dishav Nirundanaha, respecting the method of man, respecting their independent logic, mm, Avashyam Udasinaha, they're all objective. They're all objective. Vaidikanam Avantara Vivadvisheshu, Vivadvisheshu, Na Anumanyante, Na Anumanyante. They do not infer any small differences between Vedantis, and therefore, among the Vedantis, come up with Vishayam Swatantra Vichara Pijimiti. And therefore, when they say, when you are not independent thinker, then it only destroys the Swatantra Vichara, independent thinking. Independent thinking is important, they say. Independent thinking cannot be, it becomes medium, it becomes affected if you go by any shastra, by any subjectivity. Objectivity becomes medium, objective thinking becomes medium, is affected by the subjectivity. In this manner they think. Athamanyata, if it were thought, if it were thought, Naivate Shruti Bhakyaha Adartavyaha. They're all Shruti Bhakyaha. They're all independent of Shruti, and therefore they should not be respected. They're all should be respected because Shruti Bhakyaha. आदर्शव्याः भवन्ति आस्तिकैः आस्तिकैः. The astikas should not think of any independent thinking, because they are all Shruti Vakyaha, they are all Veda Vakyaha. Independent thinkers, independent thinking is not the method. Independent thinking is not the method. You can think independently, independently, independent. You cannot be independent of Vedanta. You cannot be, but within the Shruti, you can think independently. But you can't think independent of Shruti, and therefore bhavanti astikaihi bandhamokshadayah. What is bondage? What is freedom? These things arthaha, and the meanings of these words arthaha Vedant siddhaha evana tad bahirbudaha. वेदांत से ही मालूम होगा what is bondage, what is moksha, what is freedom, can be understood only through Vedanta. Vedanta, not to Veda Bhakya. By those people who think independently, independent of Shastra, they cannot establish what is the meaning of bondage, what is the meaning of moksha. They cannot understand, and therefore, iti tad bahirbhutaha. They are there indeed. Bahirbhutaha means they are external to Veda. They are external. They are outside the Shruti. They are independent of Shruti. Asayeva swatantra yukti pradhanaha api. And therefore स्वतंत्र युक्ति प्रधानाः अपि, even they are independent logicians, स्वतंत्र युक्ति प्रधानाः अपि मोक्षका कथातः बहिष्कार्याः. They have to be disrespected in moksha karya, and they have to be disrespected even though they are independent thinkers, but they should not be respected because they are independent of Shruti also. They are Shruti Bhakya, and therefore they should be Bahirbhutaha, Bahishkaryaha. Shushkatarkasya Anagama, a dry logic without independent of Shruti Vakyam, cannot give any knowledge. And therefore, Pratishtha Viraha Dosha, Pratishtha Viraha Dosha Dushitasya, Shishtahi Vigarhetatvaliti, Tachintyam. Even though we say that, but this is something to be thought about. This is something to be thought about. Tatu Chintyam. It is something to be paused and thought about. It is something to be paused and thought about. What is it? And that anybody who is Veda Bhakya, independently thinking, independently analyzing what is the truth and what is untruth, what is the truth and what is falsity. It should be that is something he should not be respected if he is outside or if he is independent of Shruti. In this matter, the things should be thought of. Is it really Tachintya? In this manner, it goes on. It goes on. Therefore, that we will see in the next class. Thank you very much. पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And so in Jaipur, I'm going to give a talks in Hindi. I hope they will go well. I hope they will go well in Jaipur. The talks I'm giving in Hindi, only 3 talks. I'm going there only because of it. Arshavija Mandir has organized these talks, and Dineshji has done a lot of help. And Dineshji is going to bring a lot of people, and then I will just talk to them in Hindi, some independent talks, and then you're all invited to come, and then we will continue these classes from here only, from my house, from my home, online classes. Thank you very much. Guru Purnima will be third. Guru Purnima will be in third, is it? Third of July. And therefore, Ramana Kendra, you can all come to Ramana Kendra. We will have a program there. Ramana Kendra, please come on third. Third happens to be Monday, and 3rd happens to be Monday, and please come on Monday. Monday means 3rd of July. 3rd of July. Most welcome. Thank you. 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Please come on. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hari Om.